What's going on, guys? RBG here, bringing you more coverage on Marvel's Avengers, and it's been a pretty epic month in terms of details for this game. It looks like we're going to be receiving a slew of details for the remainder of June. So far, we've received information regarding the game's accessibility and how the developers will be implementing features to ensure players with disabilities never feel left out. And we recently got an interview from Crystal Dynamics head of studio Scot Amos highlighting some of the more unknown details like how the gear system will work. And today I want to go back to all the trailers we received and talk about things people may not have noticed. Now before we get started on the video, I gotta give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, TubeBuddy. As a successful YouTube user, I often get questions asking what I use to get my videos tons of views. And the answer to that is TubeBuddy. This thing has helped me take my channel to the next level in ways I never imagined. It's a browser extension that helps new and experienced YouTubers grow fast and optimize their channels. I've been using this extension for years and it's constantly getting updated with new features, like the SEO tool that helps me come up with the perfect title, description, and tags to get more people to click on my videos. It even provides you with analytics beside your videos to see how much traffic your video is generating from various social media sites. The extension is absolutely free, but as a special offer, we're giving a 50% discount for channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers that purchase the Pro upgrade. All you have to do is enter in the code RisingStarBuddy. So if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or taking your content to the next level, download the extension now. You can do so by clicking on this link that'll be provided in the description of this video. But anyways, as I was saying, guys, we've been receiving a ton of new details regarding Marvel's Avengers, and we're less than 20 days away from receiving more updates from the developers. Square Enix will be showcasing new gameplay footage and details for their much anticipated title on June 24th, and the event is being called Marvel's Avengers War Table, and as of now, there are no details on the stream timings. It's recently been confirmed that this stream will be available via the Summer Game Fest and will most likely be available on other streaming events such as IGN's Summer of Gaming. So expect to see a rapid fire of juicy details we've been waiting for what seems like an eternity, such as the co-op gameplay and the story missions. All these things are going to be showcased, and I for one cannot wait. The only thing that's missing is when they plan on dropping that beta. But with that said, we still have a ways to go until they host a War Table stream. So while we wait, I want to continue to bring you guys all the coverage I can that'll keep you hyped and get those who jumped off this train to jump back on. Today we're going to be talking about things that you may have missed and how they could potentially play out in the story. Now, I just want to warn you all that the details I'm about to disclose may spoil certain aspects of the game for some of you, so I highly recommend clicking off the video just in case. So yeah, you've been warned. But anyways, as some of you know, the Inhumans are more than likely going to be the central focus for this game, and it looks like the evil scientist organization known as AIM has strategic plans in place to exploit this influx of superpowered individuals. According to an interview given by PlayStation Blog, Crystal Dynamics head of studio Scot Amos says that this group of baddies will portray themselves as the heroes. After Tony Stark tries to introduce a cleaner form of energy a la the Terrigen Crystal during A-Day, the big reveal is sabotaged by Taskmaster, resulting in an explosion that leaves San Francisco devastated, which then leads to the Avengers being outlawed and thus disbanding. And that's where AIM steps in, claiming that they can save the world and prevent travesties like A-Day from ever happening again. Instead of using dangerous superheroes to protect the citizens, they offer their technology through the power of science. And we've seen through some of the trailers that they've managed to create this techno-utopia. They've used the big incident to expand their brand and hide behind the guise of being this harmless industry that only wants to help the people, when in fact they are a terrorist organization who seeks to overthrow all of the world governments for their own gains. And according to Scott, their philosophy of creating this perfect world where science will be the natural order and superheroes will be a thing of the past will ultimately create conflict between them and Caped Crusaders. Are they trying to take our powers or imprison us? What does this science over superheroes philosophy mean? And these things lead me to believe that AIM will in fact be harvesting individuals who've literally been impacted by the Terrigen explosion and given inhuman powers. If you look closely at the A-Day trailer, you'll notice one scene that features a memorial for all the victims that were lost during that event. And after examining some of the posters plastered on the monuments, I noticed that some read saying, and I quote, "Let us see our children." And there were missing person posters as well. Details that could possibly corroborate my theory of AIM kidnapping these specific individuals. And I think this will most likely be the case, because according to a mission that was briefly shown on the game overview trailer, you'll be tasked with rescuing captured resistance fighters from an AIM holding facility. And these resistance fighters that are being held captive are most likely Inhumans. Another key detail that further leads me to believe this is the fact that we have a character known as Cerise who just so happens to be an Inhuman. And if you look at her picture, she seems to be in some sort of desert-like location, which is most likely the Anthill, which according to the game overview trailer is located in American Southwest and is not only the home to the Resistance fighters, but also the stomping ground to AIM. Something that I noticed is that these details regarding the harvesting of Inhumans and that of Cerise and the Anthill could provide more context to the Pym particle trailer we got during last year's E3. Because it seems like this rocky setting Hank Pym is in is probably somewhere located in the American Southwest desert, and considering the fact that AIM does run that area, he could possibly be at one of their facilities. You guys may have remembered a while back that I predicted that Tony Stark probably made some sort of teleportation device to get the Avengers around the world, because that was one of the story points featured in the Thor comic book tie-in, and as you can see, Hank Pym and the AIM Dreadbots seem to be getting teleported by some unknown entity. But after the reveal of the new Cerise character, my original theory has since changed. I believe that this new character could be the one utilizing this means of transportation via her Inhuman powers. If you look closely at her hand, it looks like this energy source she's wielding bears quite the resemblance to the portals that transported Hank and the Dreadbots. Not only are they both purple, but they also have a similar looking effect. And there's also this guy who will probably have the same powers as Cerise. I'm not saying that they will in fact be the ones behind making these portals, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are, because the Avengers need all the help they can get to combat these deadly weapons AIM is producing, and it sounds like one of the many roles these Resistance fighters will have in Marvel's Avengers. But moving along, I want to talk about two characters that have been featured in the very first trailer that people may have missed. Two characters that have a long history with AIM. And don't worry, these individuals didn't just go under your nose, they probably went under the Avengers' nose as well. We're talking about George Tarleton and Monica Rappaccini. Two individuals who we thought were first introduced to us in the Hulk tie-in comic, but we actually saw them way before that. And you're probably asking yourself, why should I care about these two characters, and what do you mean we've seen them way earlier? Well, as I've stated, they're highly associated with AIM, and they could be the masterminds who caused this big helicarrier explosion during A-Day. First, we gotta start off with our girl Monica. She's said to be a brilliant scientist and geneticist, and she was supposedly last seen working with Bruce Banner on understanding the gamma radiation that fuels the Hulk. Now, this particular issue only calls her Monica and doesn't disclose her last name, but I'm pretty sure that this is the Monica Rappaccini from the classic comics. The character dated Bruce Banner in the original stories, just like this character does in Marvel's Avengers. And even though we don't see her doing anything evil like devising a plan to create lethal toxins, there is a brief moment where we get a evil looking expression coming from her when she mentions to Bruce that she doesn't want to destroy the Hulk, but learn how to edit his cells to better harness his power. And I have a feeling that she'll discover how to do this and use it against Bruce in the game. But besides her, we also have George Tarleton, who will more than likely become MODOK in the game. The character was supposedly last seen working at the SHIELD lab, where he accidentally created an electrically charged monster named Zax in the Hulk comic book tie-in. Later on, we saw him talking to Tony Stark about a newer form of clean energy, because according to him, the world is hurtling towards an energy crisis. And I think it's safe to assume that this new form of energy he was referring to was indeed the Terrigen crystal that caused the big explosion at A-Day. And I believe he was an inside man that gave Taskmaster the info he needed to sabotage the event. Why, you ask? Well, we have to go back to the E3 reveal trailer I was talking about earlier. If you look closely at this scene where Iron Man is making his epic superhero landing, you'll notice a very startled looking scientist on the stage. As you can see, he fares quite the resemblance to our boy George from the Hulk comic book issue. He has the white lab coat, the brown hair, and he's even rocking the same color shirt and tie. My theory is that George was there making sure all the plans were in place for the epic Terrigen fireworks that would essentially sculpt this game's story. I'd also like to draw your attention during this scene where we see a mysterious figure picking up Kamala Khan as she passes out from being exposed to the Terrigen mist. Considering the fact that George more than likely knows what happens to individuals who've undergone Terrigenesis, I wouldn't be surprised if this mystery man who's quote-unquote assisting Kamala was in fact George Tarleton. I mean, they are wearing what looks to be a white lab coat. But besides that, I think it's safe to assume that the mystery brunette standing behind George in this trailer is none other than the Monica character I mentioned earlier. While she's not rocking the same outfit she wore in the comic issue, she is wearing green, which is a signature color for Monica Rappaccini in the classic comics. I don't really have any theories on her role at A-Day, but I do believe she'll be another key component to how things will play out in the story, especially when it comes to moments with the Hulk. From what I've learned, the Hulk will remain in his monstrous form after A-Day and will be fighting his own personal demons. But that's all I got for you guys today. I know this video was a little all over the place, but you know how I get when I'm excited about talking about these things. While we count down the days to the War Table stream, I'm going to press on and bringing you more updates and breakdowns, so be on the lookout for that. But anyways, what are your thoughts on these little details we discovered? Did you notice them the first time around? And do you think I could be right on the money with some of my theories I've laid out? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I ask that you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help me improve on future videos. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on social media. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.